Welcome to my next From Season 2 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to a point where I am every watch you're watching from, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, if you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. Now, I've already seen both seasons of From thus far. I'm reviewing all the episodes to be ready for the new episodes of Season 3 of From, which come out on September 22nd. I don't know which time yet, but I will have the review done. I'm guessing probably at midnight or before on the 23rd I'll upload it. So I'm guessing it'll come out before then, but definitely I'll try to get it done as soon as possible. It will screw things up when Daryl Dixon Season 2 comes out, because I'll have two shows and The Walking Dead takes priority on my channel. But we'll see what happens. But like the show a lot. I think the show is pretty solid, not amazing. I'm a little worried that the show will end with a bad M. Night Shyamalan type twist, but we shall see. But again, just getting ready for Season 3 of From, and make sure you come back to the channel to see those review videos. So with all that said, this will be from Season 2, Episode 5. The title of this episode is called Lullaby. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. So Randall struggles to sleep while creatures knock on the window of the bus. Fed up, he goes to the door and prepares to exit to confront them before remembering. The old lady creature asks if he is comfortable, and Randall asks them if they think this is scary and taunts them about how they can't get inside because of the talisman. Randall then tells them he is not afraid of them and to leave him alone. And then Randall yells at them not to walk away from him, as they do walk away. Jade struggles to sleep and ponders the old picture of the man in the picture with Victor in the background. Jade has a vision that the man is standing in front of him holding the journal open to the drawing of the symbol, which begins oozing blood, terrifying Jade. When the vision disappears, Jade screams in frustration. Boyd is awoken by knocking on the church door. Sarah is also woken up, but Boyd tells her to stay out of sight. Boyd opens the door, and Jim and Tabitha enter, demanding to know where Sarah is. Boyd tries to explain, but Tabitha ignores him and reminds Boyd that she is a murderer. And really bad acting at that point by the actress that plays Tabitha, in my opinion. Overacting, I guess. Boyd insists that she is not going to hurt anyone, but Tabitha reminds Boyd that she tried to kill Ethan. Jim asks why Boyd is not enforcing his own rules, and Boyd insists that things have changed, prompting Jim to ask how. And Boyd, exasperated, answers that Jim got everyone's hopes up with the radio tower, and now they are all looking at him, wondering why he did not return with all the answers. They have a busload of people who don't have the resources for, and the Matthews home collapsed for no reason. Thus, if Sarah can help them figure out what is going on, then she stays out of the box. Sarah then emerges, and Tabitha forcefully tells her to stay away from her family. Boyd leaves to tell Donna, wanting her to hear from him. Sarah tells him that she should not be here and is not strong enough for this. Boyd tells her that he can't help her with that, and she needs to figure it out. Julie knocks on the door while Ethan huddles in his room, corner in his room. Jim and Tabitha arrive and ask what is happening, and Julie explains that he overheard them talking about Sarah and now will not leave his room. Tabitha tries to assure him that they will not let anything happen to him, while Jim adds that it's like the Chronicle when she is afraid to go in the cave. Ethan then exits and declares that he wants to see Sarah. Christy brings Marielle a box of pastries that Tien Chen made. Marielle says she has a surprise for Christy and tells her to close her eyes, and Marielle then gives her a Gerhardt Trucking t-shirt, delighting Christy. Christy is amazed that Marielle has it, and Marielle explains that she doesn't go anywhere without it since Christy disappeared, and that she still remembers the last time she saw Christy wearing it. Christy's face turned somber upon Marielle asking. She explains that she worries whether or not she is still the same person she was before all she has seen and done. Marielle assures her that they are still themselves and will figure the rest out together, and then they begin kissing. Sarah walks to her former house in town and enters only to find that new people have moved in. She finds a jacket that belonged to Nathan and holds it. The new residents, Reggie and Paula, then confront her, demanding that she leave and give the jacket. Sarah begs them to let her look for her belongings, and they said they put all the stuff in storage at the diner. Sarah specifically asks about a ceramic ornament, but Reggie says it was creepy having her stuff here, and it was creepy having her in the house now. Sarah asks to keep the jacket, but Paula confiscates it and orders her to leave, and Sarah departs, returning to the church. Jade recreates the symbol using glass bottles on the floor. Victor walks in and remarks that Jade doesn't look good. Jade replies that Tom is dead and the bar is closed. And then Jade explains that he is trying to figure out what the symbol means, which Victor refuses to help, even though Jade knows that Victor knows something. Victor promises to share what he can, but Jade has to do something for him. Jade refuses at first, but then asks what he wants. Victor then asks him to play the violin, surprising Jade, who agrees to the deal, and then Victor leads Jade outside. Tabitha refuses to let Ethan near Sarah and asks him how he could even consider this. Jim realizes that this is because of Thomas and reminds her that the doctors all said they should let him lead sometimes and work through things in his own way, while their role is to support him. Jim assures her that he will be with Ethan, and Tabitha demands to join them, but Ethan arrives and recalls what Tabitha said about how scary this place is. Ethan says that on a quest, it is necessary to face the scary things in order to take away their power. Donna expresses shock at the news Boyd has told her, reminding him of the rules that he made that dictate that Sarah should be put in the box. Boyd tries to remind her about what Father Cottry said, but she brushes this aside and scolds him for failing to return with answers and making exemptions for Sarah, who killed 4 people. Boyd points out that Sarah knows things, but Donna does not care, and says that Sarah betrayed the one thing the town had going for it, faith in Boyd. Donna bluntly remarks that she thinks that this obsession for Boyd is not going home about how he regrets not paying more attention to Abby before he had to kill her. But his wife is dead and Sarah is a killer. Boyd asks Donna if she will support him, but Donna refuses to give it, asking what Tien Chen thinks about Sarah's return. Boyd says he hasn't talked to her, and Donna says he should, and then leaves. Sarah stares at the diner and watches Kenny leave before Jim and Ethan confront Sarah. Ethan goes up to Sarah and tells her that he thought they were friends, but she is a monster, and that he is not afraid of her. The two then leave, and Sarah sadly watches them walk away. Victor leads Jade through the forest, who complains about having to follow Victor. Victor remarks that it's strange that the trees are changing colors, confusing Jade. The two then arrive at the car graveyard, which shocks Jade, who asks Victor if he moved all the cars, and Victor explains that after everyone died, he didn't want to look at the cars, so he put them where he couldn't see them. He adds that there are more past the rocks, but those were there before his arrival. Victor then apologizes for his behavior, explaining that he dislikes when people go through his things, and that sometimes he gets angry, apologizing again. Victor walks to an old station wagon and climbs onto the roof and asks Jade to play the song about the twinkling star. Bear with me, my nose is itching like crazy, just in case you notice here. Victor explains that his mother used to play the song when he was afraid, and she would tell him to think about the twinkling stars at night when he heard the screams of the creature's victims. Jade then plays Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on the violin while Victor reminisces. Elgin walks into the church only to find Sarah sitting alone. Sarah asks him if he was on the bus, and he answers yes before asking how long she has been in town. Sarah says she's been here a few months, but feels like it's much longer. Elgin asks where she lives, and she answers the church. Elgin remarks that he would have thought a priest lived in the church, and Sarah says that there used to be one, and Elgin explains that he goes every Sunday with his grandmother, and Sarah asks if he was on the way to see her. Elgin says he accompanied her to church because it made her happy. He fondly recalls her habit of crocheting only owls. Sarah reminisces about this ceramic Christmas ornament she and Nathan would decorate, but only one left is unlikely to be returned. Elgin jokingly offers to provide some muscle for her, offers to before asking why she doesn't stay at Colony House instead of an old church, and Sarah explains that she always liked the idea of being forgiven for whatever you did if you were truly sorry. And Elgin replies that it seemed like wishful thinking to him and asks Sarah if she's done something that needs forgiven, and Sarah reveals that she killed her brother, and Elgin asks if it was an accident. Sarah says he will find out everything soon, and he does uncomfortably leave. As he does, Sarah says it was nice to meet him, and he hesitantly returns the sentiment. Jim and Ethan return to the loose house and happily tells Tabitha that he isn't afraid anymore. Julie fist bumps him and asks him to help peel potatoes for dinner, which he grudgingly does. Tabitha asks Jim how Ethan did, and he says Ethan did great. As they hug, Tabitha has a vision of Ethan's wooden block puzzle. Tien Chen washes dishes in the diner. Sarah approaches her, shocking her former boss, and Sarah apologizes and prepares to leave, but Tien Chen tells her to stay, and Tien Chen says that she took her husband away from her even after she took care of her and put hate inside of her. Tien Chen says she knows why Sarah came, and she says she will take her belongings and never return. Sarah takes the box, and as she leaves, is spotted by Kenny, who is enraged. Sarah tries to explain, but Kenny dumps her box on the ground. Sarah scrambles for the ceramic ornament, which Kenny takes away and smashes on the ground. Kenny yells at her that he does not care what Boyd says or how special she is. If she goes near his mother again, he will drag her to the box himself. Sarah picks up the shards of ornament, and Elgin helps her pick up her belongings before she runs out. Marielle gives Christy a haircut. Tilly then arrives and gives Christy a bottle of liquid morphine for safekeeping. Christy asks why she's carrying it around, and she then realizes that Tilly has cancer and asks how long when she was diagnosed. Tilly answers a month ago, and by the time she needs the morphine, she won't be in any shape to administer it. Tilly then admonishes her for ruining their afternoon, admonishes herself, and leaves them alone. Tilly adds that they are better off staying in the clinic anyway, given the what's going on surrounding Sarah's return to town. This shocks Christy, who runs outside with Marielle on her heels. Marielle stops her and asks her to explain, and Christy explains that Sarah tried to kill Ethan and that she feels responsible because she told Sarah it was worth doing something bad to go home. And Marielle calms her down and brings her back inside. Victor explains that the man in the photo is named Christopher, and then brings Jade over to Christopher's car. Victor says that Christopher was nice and used to make everyone laugh at one time when it was not easy. However, one day he changed, but gets uncomfortable and tries to leave. Jade reminds him of their bargain and demands that he explain what he knows. Jade apologizes for yelling and says he understands that things are scary, but that he's at the end of his rope, and pleads Victor to explain. Victor reveals that Christopher started seeing the symbol, and he stopped smiling. One night his mother told him to hide somewhere Christopher did not know about, and when he awoke, everyone is dead. Victor finishes by saying that there are bad things in place that make people do bad things before leaving. Tabitha assembles Ian's block puzzle by the mouth of the cave and announces her presence. The ghoulish children emerge from the forest, all saying Nkogi repeatedly. I might be saying that wrong now. Tabitha tries to ask who they are, but they surround her, begin touching her, overwhelming her. After they disappear, Jade arrives, and Tabitha asks if he saw them. Jade points out her nose is bleeding and asks what she means. Boyd observes Randall trying to hoist some seats from the bus onto the roof of it, and then Jim then approaches him, promising him that he does not want to argue. He admits that he disagrees with Boyd's actions, but after looking at Sarah, he realized that he didn't see a psychopath, but he saw a broken kid. He adds that he sees a lot of people in the town who are pushed to their edge and wonders if that's the point of the place. He reveals that he and Donna heard a voice on the radio and that the voice knew his name and what Tabitha was doing in the basement of their house. Jim believes that they are being watched and that there have been experiments like this dating back to World War II. Jim says they don't have to trust each other or like each other, but they have to start working together. Jim says he has no idea what the observers want from them, but he would love to hear a more rational explanation. Boyd then leaves for the diner. Boyd asks for Tien Chen, but the worms reappear under his arm at the tabletop jukebox and begin playing a song in dreams. Christy gets ready for bed, donning the shirt that Marielle gave her earlier. Marielle discreetly goes to the medicine cabinet and takes a drop of the liquid morphine. Jade throws darts at drawings of the symbol. Ethan plays with his blocks on the porch of the Luz. He sees Sarah walk past. The two lock eyes before Sarah continues on her way. Randall has set up a chair and waits for nightfall. And then back at the diner, Boyd tells a clearly angry Tien Chen that he was hoping they could talk, and that's what ends this episode of From. So I'll give it a 7.0 out of 10. Nothing crazy happened in this episode. A lot of development and a lot of guessing by the characters. Like I said, 7 out of 10. I'll give the characters of the episode to Sarah and Randall. You could make arguments for other characters. Nobody was really a big focal point of this episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of From and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please don't forget to Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of From. What would you rate it, and who would be your characters of the episode? Remember to come back to the channel for my Season 3 reviews of From, which I will put up as soon as I can. I'm guessing the episodes air at prime time on Sunday nights, so hopefully they're done by midnight or shortly after midnight the next day. I'll get them up as soon as I can. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.